Good evening, Drew.
Hi, Paul. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was in the back cellar playing with my tube.
What now?
Yeah, so clever euphemisms aside, I was still building out my new computer.
Okay, how's that going?
It's going. So I got all the parts and I had to order some fittings online because I couldn't find the exact size I needed anywhere. So there was a little bit of waiting around to get all the right parts in the right place, but unlike my last computer build, I've and I kind of just learned this through doing is I just took my time planning out where everything is going to go in the case and kind of visualizing where the different tube runs are going to go for the coolant flow and making sure that there's adequate space for all of those things and making sure the radiators fit, which has been honestly the toughest part of this whole build because the case I'm using, if you believe the marketing material, could have space for three 360 millimeter radiators, and that's just not grounded in any facts at all because
Lies.
yeah. Well, part of it is because of the reservoir I'm using, and while it's true that the side of the case could have a 360 degree millimeter radiator, or 360 millimeter radiator, if you want to put fans on that radiator, you're very limited because the case is only so wide. So I had to basically find the thinnest radiator I could find, which defeats the purpose of a radiator. Because you want surface area. So I had to couple that with a really big honkin' radiator, and I think I have a solution that works. So like I said, I've just been kind of putting things together, taking things apart, putting things together, taking things apart, just taking my time. I have a computer that works, so there's not a sense of urgency there. But when I feel like I'm ready, I will be shutting this computer down and then draining the loop in this one and taking the graphics card out, taking the RAM out, taking the power supply out and the hard drive and the PCIe hard drives out, and then putting them in the new one, and then filling the loop, testing for leaks, and hopefully I will be ready to go by the weekend.
Oh, spectacular.
Yeah. All in all, not too bad. I'm doing softline tubing for this one. I'm not doing hardline.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Well, the hard is exactly what it sounds like. So you've seen the PC that I built.
Yes.
It is PETG tubing that comes in big, long, straight sections. You have to heat it up and bend it to basically get it to conform to the shape that you want. So now I'm using flexible tubing, which is kind of like the same stuff you would use in an aquarium.
Okay.
Yeah, except thicker and
Right.
yeah. So I'm using that, and that requires different types of fittings. And one nice advantage of this is the case I'm using is a little bit wider than the case I have now, because the case I have now is a really nice case, but it's really tall and skinny, whereas the case that I bought this time is a little more squat and girthy. So I have a lot of room to play behind the case with tubing. So instead of having my tubing kind of out in the middle, it's basically, because it's flexible, I can bend it much easier, obviously, without having to heat it up, and I can just kind of route it behind the case and then have it come out where it needs to come out. So I think it'll look much cleaner than my current build, even though I'm not dissatisfied with how the runs are in my current computer. I just think that this one will look a little bit different, and I'm going to use a solid coolant. I'm going to vertically mount the graphics card. Yeah, there's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. So we will see. I probably will send you some pictures. I might post some pictures on Twitter later because, I'm almost to the point where, everything is routed the way I want it routed in the case, to where, I'm going to have to, just say, okay, this is good to go, and start disassembling my other computer and put everything else in. And then I still have to, fill it up with liquid and test the pump and all that stuff.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It is a lot of work. I've been working on this build for about 2 weeks, just like I said, just fiddling and getting the parts together. And right before I came and sat down at the computer, I was plugging things into the motherboard. And on motherboards, there are USB connectors for the motherboard, and cases have an adapter that plugs into that. And I think I bent a pin.
Oh no.
It happens. I'll just have to get the right pair of tweezers and try to straighten it out. And if it doesn't work, like, I'm not that concerned about it because, like, I already installed the water block on the motherboard, and, like, I don't want to, like, take that all apart and do it again. So I don't know. We'll see. If that's the worst thing that happens in this build, then I'll be happy.
Well, sounds like you have everything under control.
Well, we'll see. What's going on with you? What's new?
I mean, I guess the biggest part of follow-up was, biggest part of follow-up is, I sewed? What is the past tense of sew? We're going to go with sewn.
I believe it's sowed.
Sowed. I sowed my back patch on my battle jacket. And I'm very happy. Yes.
And I saw pictures of that, and boy, howdy, you did a hell of a job.
Yeah. I just hope that I did a good enough job that it doesn't fall off. But, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks good. So I've got a couple more patches sitting here that I'm going to put on this weekend, and I've got a few more coming in the mail. So everything's coming along nicely.
Okay. So obviously the behemoth patch was the one that takes up the full back. It's clearly the biggest patch you have. Do you anticipate the other patches going a little bit quicker?
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, this one took the better part of a couple hours to sew on, and also in doing such, I ran out of thread, so I had to order more thread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And you're using black thread, I take it.
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't be caught dead in a Joann Fabrics. Like you just couldn't go there and get the thread, or.
It was mostly just laziness. I was like, I ran out of thread. I'm just going to order new thread right now. I got some very nice, luxurious cotton thread. So, hopefully it's a lot of it and it's high quality thread. So. But not too thick, because I tried using a thread intended for buttons, and that's just too thick. It's just, yeah. Turns out there's different types of thread. Yeah, who knew?
Yeah. I've heard people use, like, nylon thread, because it's, like, closer to fishing line. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I bet it would probably be shiny, maybe. I don't know if that would be a little more durable. I mean... Granted, it is a battle jacket, so I'm going to assume it's going to see some rough country.
I mean, quite possibly. I mean, it might be mosh pit adjacent at some point, but...
Mosh pit adjacent.
Yeah.
Title. Okay. So is the concert you're going to, that is still coming up in February, right?
April.
March? April. That's right. It was. April. I knew it was a little further out. I just couldn't remember when.
I just bought another set of tickets for a show that is in the end of March, so that may be the debut.
What show is this?
It is a band called Midnight. They're playing at Ace of Cups in Columbus. They are a kind of punk / hardcore / metal band from Cleveland. They were I guess the best way to describe it is bags over their head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and Google that while you're talking. Midnight Band.
Yep.
Bags over their head.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Like hoods. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks weird. The one picture I'm looking at, it looks like they've got like a hoodie that has like a sheer like mask where like the face would go.
Yeah, and then is it where his guitar's on fire?
No.
Oh, the one I'm looking at, his guitar is on fire.
That guitar is on fire.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a band I listen to. I mean, I don't avoid them, but I don't seek them out either. But they're going to be in town. It's a pretty cheap show, so yeah, I'm going to go see them. They're loud, fast, and angry, so they got that going for them.
I feel like that is pretty on brand for Paul.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right. So how many patches total are going to be on the jacket when you're done?
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I'm not that's going to be the next real thing, is to decide like how densely I'm going to sew the patches on, and I'm going to leave some space and try to make it symmetrical or just shove them all in there. So, I really don't know. I'm hoping to have, let's see, I have 2, 3, 4 more. I'm hoping to get at least 4 more patches on there before its first debut. So
you've got the big patch on the back. You're going to probably put some like on the breasts of the jacket.
Yeah, I have.
Where else are you targeting?
I don't know. I think, I don't know yet. I think I have one on above like the left pocket. I may put one above the right pocket, and then the rest are probably going to go on the back. Yeah, I know. That's really the hard part, is figuring out. I want to leave room for more patches, but I don't want it to look like I'm just randomly applying patches as I go. So.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, is the goal to cram this thing full of patches from the gate, or like, are you going to leave some room for future growth?
I'm going to leave some room for future growth. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. All right.
Now to turn things sideways here, but kind of music related. I put this link in the show notes the other day. I don't know if you clicked on it or not.
So I saw the announcement, but go ahead and cue us up for this one. I'm going to go ahead and click on it while you do that.
Okay, so Spotify, I don't know, it's gone a little crazy, I think. And they have this weird gimmick where you can create playlists for your pets. And the other day, I got an email in my inbox saying like, hey, make a playlist for your pet. And I just had to click on it. And I have a lot of comments about this website. It's very... someone put a lot of work into this website.
Okay. I'm seeing that there is definitely a lot of effort here. So
okay.
I'm gonna stop where I'm at in the website real quick. So let's go ahead and describe this.
Okay. So the URL, it'll be in the show notes, but it's pets.byspotify.com. And when you go there, you see this kind of pale blue background, and there's a border of pets around it. There's some cats, a hamster, a bird, an iguana, and a dog. And it boasts, pet playlists. Get a playlist for your pet based on music you love. And then you say, let's go. So let's click let's go, Drew. That's
all right. Well, I'm going to... So what's even cooler about this site before we click let's go is putting your mouse over the animal in question makes them do a little animation.
Oh, okay, I was not aware of that. I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, put your cursor over the animals.
Okay, hold on.
Don't click on them. Just put the cursor over them. Oh, by the way, the iguana with like the upside down blinking and everything is nightmare fuel.
Yes. Okay.
But the animations are very cute. Like you put your mouse over the hamster and he just kind of spins around, as I imagine hamsters do.
Yep.
The bird, aka Burb, flaps its wings a little bit. The doggo barks.
Yes.
Yep. The iguana sticks its tongue out. The cat licks its paws because it doesn't care about anything. So I'm gonna click dog, obviously.
Okay. I think I'm going to call an audible, and I'm going to make a playlist for one of my cats, just to have a different experience. Okay, but I think it's pretty much all the same. But I'm going to say cat, so I'm going to click on cat, and you're going to click on dog.
All right, I did that,
and then hit next. Okay, then it's going to ask you some questions about your pet, and you're going to have a slider. So I believe these are all the same, but it wants to know more information about your pet. And you have a slider that says, is your pet relaxed or energetic? And you can move the slider, and then the animal changes their pose depending on where you put your
based
slider.
On what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So when I move the slider over to relaxed, my doggo in a nice little animation lays down and appears to be snoring with his ears waggling. And when I move the slider to energetic, he's kind of in a downward dog position, which makes sense. And then he's got a little wagging tail. His tongue's hanging out, and he cocks his head at you. Yes. I'm going to go ahead. Rocky is an older guy. He's actually turning 11 tomorrow. And he's definitely still has his energetic moments, but I'm going to go ahead and tick this just shy of the middle towards relaxed.
Yeah. Okay. So for the cat, my relaxed is, what you would expect. It's a cat sleeping. His little whiskers are kind of vibrating and his tail's going. And energetic, he looks like a big old derpy cat just bouncing around. Big old eyes. The cat I'm inspiring this off of is one of my daughter's cat, Marshmallow. He actually is like the only cat that like really likes me. He actually will come and sit on my lap and sleep and purr, but he is pretty chill. So I'm going to put it right in the middle between relaxed and energetic. He's still a cat. And sometimes he just spazzes out and does cat things and runs around the house. Mm-hmm. So he's not completely relaxed, but he's pretty chill. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to hit next. Okay. Yep.
All right. So the next question we get is, for me with the dog, is shy or friendly?
Because those are opposites of each other.
Yes. And if you put the slider over towards shy, the doggo kind of gets up on his hind legs and pants a little bit, like, "Hey, notice me, senpai." And if you slide it over towards shy, he puts paws over his nose, his tail's a little less movie, and like he kind of like moves his paw every once in a while to check how things are going.
So for the cat, shy, the cat basically shows you his butt. I mean, not basically. That's what he does. He puts his big old rump, it kind of shakes his tail, and gives you kind of a stink eye, looking back at you. Friendly, the cat is on his back, putting his paws up in the air, and kind of how you would imagine a cat playing with a ball of yarn would look like in a cartoon.
Got it.
My cat this cat is pretty friendly. So I'm going to push him, maybe not all the way to the end, but kind of, just a little bit shy of max friendliness. All right.
Okay. All right. And then after you click that, it says lastly, so I'm going to assume it's the last question.
Yes.
You can move the slider between apathetic and curious. So the dog for curious is he's on his hind legs. They are on their hind legs. I'm not trying to be gender normative here. They are on their hind legs, and the dog kind of like looks at the ground, then looks at you with a quizzitive look, like they're paying attention to you, but they're also paying attention to something else. And then apathetic is just like a grumpy dog that just kind of like licks its paws and doesn't even care about you. Rocky is definitely curious, so I'm going to go ahead and slide that guy over pretty far.
So the curious animation is a cat seeing a ball roll out behind him and then swatting at it. The apathetic is him laying, they laying on the ground like some sort of furry potato. Yeah. Marshmallow is very apathetic. Doesn't really go for toys or anything. So I'm going to put this all the way down to apathetic. All right. Then I'm going to hit next. All right. Okay. Then you have to give the pet a name. All right.
Yep, and you also have to give it a picture. So I'm going to go over to my photos real quick and grab a picture of my little pup. I should have one, you would think, because, it's my dog, and I love him. So I need to save that picture on my desktop.
I should have a picture somewhere, too. Let's see, cat. If I search for cat, boom, there it is. All right, I'm going to drag it to my desktop.
Yeah, we're going to see... Oh, it did a pretty good job of identifying Rocky's face, so we'll leave it there. And I'm going to click Next. Okay. Now, while you're doing that, it basically syncs... It says syncing with my playlist and his.
Yes.
Yeah. Pet playlist, music for best friends. I just got to... Okay, so it wants you to, like, share it, right? Because
of course, yes.
Like, comment, and subscribe. So... Yeah, pet playlist, music for best friends. I just got a playlist for me and my dog featuring, and I'll stop there and I'll wait and see what you get. Because if your cat gets metal, boy, did they get you.
Okay, so this is what I've kind of just figured out. Is it looks at music that you like, and it kind of uses what your choices is to make a playlist. So if you actually open up Spotify, you will see this playlist in your playlist now. And it's actually, this one's a little bit more, this is a little different than some of the other ones I've got. Let's see, Marshmallow's pet playlist.
All right,
this appears to have lots of really like lots of Swedish black metal bands, which is very on point for me. Some of them I haven't heard before. Some Gojira. It is mostly, it appears to be metal. Yeah, there's some Behemoth in there as well. Some Death. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Where do I begin here? So
Okay.
I'm just scrolling through my list, and I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna start at one end of the spectrum, and then it's gonna go somewhere really weird. So the first song on the playlist is "She's a Beauty" by the Tubes.
Nice. Okay.
And then I have "Gel" by Collective Soul, which is a good song.
Okay.
Then the song "I Want a Dog" by the Pet Shop Boys, which
That seems forced. Okay, but
Yeah.
all right.
"Psycho Killer" by the Talking Heads.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of where it starts, and then we get to there's a couple other songs in here, but I'm going in a specific order. Then we get to "New Jack Hustler" from Ice-T.
Okay.
"Mathematics" from Mos Def. Let's see here. Oof. This is it. I don't know, Rock. This might not be for you. I don't know if I want to listen.
Some explicit content.
Yeah.
Here. So I'm gonna drop my my link to my playlist in there.
I'm also going to drop my link to my playlist in there. So how do I share this thing?
If you're in Spotify, click on the meatballs, the ... and you can say share and copy playlist link.
Copy playlist link. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the show notes too.
Yeah. And see, so, there's a lot of songs, there's some bands I haven't really heard. I'm not super familiar with, but I've heard of them. Some bands I really like. It's got a song by Ween, which is a blast from my past. And then Tommy the Cat by Primus, which I feel is also very forced.
That is also pretty forced.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, go to Church from Ice Cube and Little John. And then some synth pop like Yesterday from FM Attack.
You got some Collective Soul on there. Nice.
I do have some Collective Soul on there.
Yep.
Yeah. And some of these songs I have no ideas. Yeah. I don't know, Rock. This might not be for you, bud. We tried.
Yeah.
All right.
So
it's cute. It's very cute. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's also just, I don't know. I can't imagine this website getting a lot of, out of the first, week, haha, I made a playlist for my pet, like we just did. I can't imagine it getting a lot of, use, but yet it's a very intricate website.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously paid a web developer a lot of money to do this. And, it's very cute. It's very cute. So I approve, and we should definitely get more people involved in that. So.
Yes. Yep. So you will find our playlists in the show notes, I would imagine. And then you can listen to the playlists inspired by our pets.
By our lovely animals. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good find. I did see that in the email. I didn't click on it yet just because meh.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is with my Google speaker thingy, I could basically tell it to play that, and he could listen to his playlist. And
Nice.
yeah, he just likes to sleep during the day when I'm working, which is pretty nice. He likes to lay on the couch. Sometimes he'll get bored of me talking on the phone, and then he'll go lay in the bedroom. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That was a fun little exercise. I appreciated that.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for humoring me.
Well, no, I mean, if it's pets, right? And I love pets more than humans, so I love animals more than humans in general.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and change subjects here again.
Okay.
So, Paul, obviously, I work for a pretty large company that you might have heard of. Let me tell you, buddy, I need help. I need help in the form of learning how to effectively deal with a crush of email. And when I say a crush of email, I used to get a lot of email every day at the last job I had with you. I would get maybe 50, 60 emails, I don't know, by the afternoon that I'd have to sort through, obviously, as different hot topics come up, email threads fly around. We also had, social media and instant messaging, which cut down on that a lot.
Yes.
Brother, I'm here to tell you, you want to hazard a guess how many emails I usually accumulate by noon each day.
By noon.
Yeah, and I have
Okay.
a week's sample size for you.
Okay. Well, it's definitely got to be higher than the 50 or 60 area. We wouldn't be having this conversation. And I'm going to guess 200.
Yeah, you're close.
I'm close.
I'm averaging 260 emails between the hours of 7 a.m. and noon. So at a 5-hour span. Now,
Wow.
yeah. So let me break this down for you. The email basically comes in one of three forms. The emails either come from customers of mine that I'm working with, and they have questions.
Okay.
And obviously, I like to ascribe those a slightly higher priority than anything else because they're asking me a question. I want to give them an answer. Sometimes the answer is, I don't know. Let me go find out, and I'll be right back with you. That happens a lot. Or it would be a quick answer that I can hit up and just solve. The second type of email is inter-team emails, right? Like internal emails. I will send emails to other members of the team that I'm a part of, or my boss, or other coworkers, or other teams, or members of various product groups, account managers, like basically intrapersonal communication. Let's call it that, right? Nothing that is usually super critical, but then other things. And then kind of the third type of email I get is we have a lot of internal distribution lists. We love those. And granted, we use Teams obviously for most instant communication, but we also have a lot of distribution lists. And while they can be overwhelming and you can definitely set up email rules, you're always seeing different emails come across of like, I had this problem, or this is how I solved this thing. Like usually they are questions to a larger audience of like, help me, I don't know what I'm doing and I need help. Or I did this for this customer, or I did this for this other coworker. Here's something cool that I want to share. So I get a lot of that type of email, and they come in different time zones. They come from different countries. It's just a lot of email. And as my tenure at this company grows and I'm getting more involved in more things, like, I am a keep everything important that is in front of me in my inbox. So in Outlook, usually what I do is I flag an email for follow-up if it's something that I know I need to get to or something that should draw my attention. I usually leave conversations in my inbox for a few days until either the thing that is going on is resolved, or I'm satisfied with an answer, or something to that effect. I do a lot of manual sorting of my email because that's how I know something gets done. It's not to say that I don't have email rules set up. It's just that a lot of times the physical act of me moving an email into a folder means that I'm done. But the problem is that when you're dealing with this many emails, this doesn't scale, right? Like I can't keep the things that I need to keep in front of me. And I use a lot of different ways to kind of track my work. Like I'm obviously a OneNote user. I've got a little notepad next to my desk, right? Like I'm trying to manage all of these different things coming in once, and it's proving pretty difficult. So what I'm asking for, and if you have one, great. If the besties have suggestions, like I'm looking for good ways to manage just a huge volume of email.
Huh. Yeah, so I pretty much do what you do right now. I try to keep my inbox down to things that I need to deal with, or things that I kind of want to see where they go. If I want to watch them and kind of maybe not do anything but follow the conversation, and things that I have to do an action on, either I do it right away, or I mark it as a flag. I don't use folders so much anymore for the email I want to keep. I have kind of learned to trust in the Outlook search and just archive my email that I want to keep but not see in my inbox, and rely on the search to find it later. But I mean, I don't get nearly the amount of email that I probably deal with 60 emails a day on the high end.
Okay.
So yeah, I could easily see that if I, quadrupled my volume of email, that my system would just fall over. Yeah.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a challenge to try to keep up with it all. It is proving to be a pretty difficult thing. And what I don't want too is to have to like maintain a bunch of different email rules, because that in itself becomes a different management exercise, and I'm not necessarily sure it's worth the effort when I'm dealing with the many different sources of email that I get. And staying on top of that is proving probably to be the hardest part of my job, because inadvertently something gets missed, and if that's an internal person, like, hey, sorry, I missed that. If it's a customer, it's a slightly harder conversation to have, because obviously everybody's email is super important. So I'm just looking for different ways of managing kind of that volume, and it's like I said, I just haven't found a good one. Like it was working, and it had worked for me for a number of years, but now I'm just to the point where I got to do something different, and I don't really know what that is yet.
Now, the only thing I do, which I'm not sure, again, if the volume is going to make this difficult or not, but I always try at least once a week, preferably as close to Monday morning as possible, is I make sure one of the tasks I do is I just go through my inbox. I usually go from oldest to newest, so I'm working up my inbox and just looking at each mail and really deciding, okay, does this need to be in my inbox anymore? No. Okay, I can archive it. All right. Should it be in my inbox because I should have done something about it? Right. And I kind of make that decision of whether I should just, and I don't keep every email that I get. Like, if I don't need it, if I don't want to see it anymore, I do delete email. I'm a full believer of just, there's some pieces of data that you will never need again. So I really go through and look at each one and decide, okay, is this a trash, archive, or action? And that keeps my inbox pretty thin. Usually after that, I only have maybe, no more than a dozen. I think right now, being that it's Thursday, I probably have 2 dozen, maybe a little bit more in my inbox. Now that I'm saying this, I'm getting anxiety. I need to, I should go through my inbox right now. But I won't. I'm going to close Outlook. Don't need that open right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, part of my job is I need to keep the receipts, so
yeah,
I can't really just delete a lot of things. I do have to keep a lot of the thing, which is hard. Because it's just a lot. I just have a lot of things that I got to keep track of. So. Send me your tips. Let me know what I should do, because
I have played around with other, your more hipster, fancy email clients. I think I used Spark back at the day. Was that one? Is that really one? Spark email?
It seems not ringing any bells to me.
Okay. Yep. Okay. It's claims to be the best email client for iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Android. It's not really going to solve your problems. Well, yeah, you do work a lot on a Mac. Now, one of the features it had that I thought I would really like, but ended up not liking, is kind of snoozing your emails.
Yeah, okay. I think I have used something where that's a thing, and no, that doesn't do it for me, because it disappears out of your inbox. Yes. I need it.
Okay. Yeah, I need it when I need it. But it comes back. I don't want to see this today. Okay, so that's not... Yeah, see, I thought I would really like that, but...
no, I didn't like that either.
No, it turns out I didn't like that at all.
Yeah. I feel like at one point when I was using Linux on the desktop, I used something very similar to that. Maybe it was Spark. I can't remember. But yeah, it did the same thing, and I wasn't a big fan. And it was like one of the centerpieces, like, here's how you get to inbox 0. Well, it's not really inbox 0, is it? Like, you're just...
Yeah, right. You're just, delaying. I mean, in a way it is, because you're like, I don't have to deal with this right now, so you kind of just make it disappear for a few days, and then it comes back when you have to deal with it. Like, I get it.
I get it.
Now, do you think this would be a problem that would be solved by maybe... managing your work items in a productivity to-do management app?
Well, okay. So for the bigger project items that I'm working on, I have a OneNote notebook where I'm keeping track of my project work. And sometimes I just have a page in my OneNote that just says to do.
Okay.
And, let's say, you call me up, hey, Drew, listen, I want to know more about Azure Data Factory and DevOps. So typically what I will do is your email comes into me. I flag it for follow-up. If I'm able to answer it right then and there, usually the answer will be like, hey, that sounds great. Let's set up a time to talk. But I basically will move your original email into a folder. I will leave that other email there, basically indicating that I'm waiting for a response from you. And basically go into my OneNote, put a to-do Paul, Azure Data Factory DevOps, or maybe on your page that I have dedicated to you as a customer, I would put something in there to say, hey, on this day they reached out to me. There's a lot of manual managing of my stuff going on right now, and as you can tell, that works great if you're my only customer, but when you're managing a pretty diverse workload with a lot of different topics, that can get pretty exhausting.
Now, have you checked out Microsoft To Do?
I have not.
Okay, so here I'm gonna put a link in the show notes. So I guess a while ago, Microsoft purchased a to-do app. I think it was Any. Yeah, they purchased some to-do application, and I think what came out of there was this application called Microsoft To Do. Now, I have not used this before, but I work in a place where a lot of people are really into the Outlook, OneNote lifestyle, and they have nothing but rave reviews about this and how basically as you flag emails in Outlook and create tasks in Outlook, it automatically gets imported into To Do. That's really hard to say. Imported into To Do. So you kind of get this one singular view of everything you need to do. And the integration is really nice with all the Microsoft suite. So, yeah, and considering that it's drinking the Kool-Aid for you, it may be something you want to check out.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this. Typically, what I do is OneNote has the ability to create checklists, and that's usually what I do. But I will I'll have to check this out. I can't say that I've used this.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I have talked to people who really, really like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, there you go. Something to look at. And really, as human beings, we're really just, the key to our happiness is finding the right to-do management application. So
yeah,
that's going to fill the hole.
Yeah, life is just a series of productivity apps.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. But boy, man, I get so much email. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, switching topics. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up, just because I'm now a repeat buyer of a new product in our house, and that is a Ruggable rug. Have you seen these?
I don't even know. No, I have never even heard of these. A Ruggable rug. It's going into Google. Ruggable.com?
Yeah, Ruggable.com.
Ruggable.
Exactly what it sounds like.
Okay. What is a Ruggable rug?
So here's the deal. And I didn't know anything about this, and I don't necessarily know if they're big advertisers, but so the CrossFit gym I go to, my 4:30 p.m. class coach, also my gymnastics coach, I wouldn't necessarily call her an influencer, although I guess technically she is. She's fitness. She's a fitness person who also does a lot of trendy clothes shopping and makeup stuff and home decor. And in the home decor vein, she is a big proponent of this brand, Ruggable. Now, listen, I'm not an interior decorator, but here's the deal. And we should probably say they're not sponsoring this episode. We don't have sponsors.
No.
So the fascinating thing about Ruggable is, and I don't know if you've ever went to a store and bought a rug, but for me, that usually falls into two categories. It's either I'm going to go buy a really expensive rug at a store that sells expensive rugs, or I'm going to go to Target and buy something that's probably in any other stores like a bath mat, but we're going to call it a rug, right? It's going to fall apart. It's going to be gross, whatever. So Ruggable is really interesting because, one, they have really nice patterns in a bunch of different sizes, not a lot of different materials, but a lot of different styles, a lot of different colors, and a lot of different sizes to meet whatever it is you want to do. Now, the trick of this is that when you order a Ruggable, you actually get two things. You get what they call a rug pad and a rug cover. And the rug pad is like a rubbery type, almost not Velcro, but like not sticky either. But it is something you put down on the floor and then you put the rug cover over. And it keeps the rug in place, kind of like locks it into place almost. And in doing so, let's say you have an animal or a child or both that gets sick on the rug, or you spill something, or you just want to wash the rug. You peel the rug cover off the pad, you throw that baby in the washer, and then you wash it.
Huh.
Or
okay,
if
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, or if you want like interchangeable rugs, so like seasonal stuff, like maybe in the fall I want brown, maybe in the summer I want gray or red or whatever. You could buy the rug pad and the rug cover separately. Like if you have if you have a rug pad in a size that you want to be able to just swap it out, you can do that. So when you go to order the rug, you can say I don't need a pad, or I just want this cover, or whatever. And it's pretty good. They're stain resistant. They're water resistant too, so like if you spill something on them, water kind of beads up. Now, obviously, like you let it sit there, it's going to go in there. But they, like I said, we bought one for our dining room over the summer, and it's gone really well. We went with this nice gray one, and now we've ordered some more for like our hallway and our kitchen. So, you know, I kind of took a flyer on it because I had never seen anybody actually use one other than my coach, and she just posted a couple pictures online, and we have, like I said, we're going to have 3 in the house now, and they're quite good. So,
wow.
Yeah, I hate to use the word innovative, but it's pretty good. They're pretty good. So, and given what you talked about last time, I just thought I would share since you were dealing with people throwing up in your house.
Yeah, and there are lots of different styles.
Yep.
Like, holy crap.
And they're not cheap, but
no.
But two things. One, they definitely punch above their weight in terms of quality. And two, obviously the price is going to be dependent on what size you get, and the prices include the pad. So if you don't need the pad, you can subtract a little bit more off. But if it's your first one, you definitely want the pad. Like the pad is what makes this whole thing possible. So
yeah, I find now I have never purchased a rug. Never.
Okay.
Not once. I've never even been in a situation where I was looking at rugs with the intent to buy them. Not something I've ever done. My wife has bought some rugs, and usually she buys them, on clearance when she finds something. She's a big clearance shopper. We don't have any rugs in our house right now, but I'm definitely going to have to pass this along to her and get her thoughts.
I think she would probably dig it.
Yeah.
So let me know. Yeah, let me know what she thinks.
It's a fun word to say. Ruggable.
Ruggable. So obviously, pretty big fan here. So
yeah. Well, thanks for the tip.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm here for.
I will pass that on.
Yeah. What else we got going on before we wrap this one up?
Oh, I don't know. What do we have going on? Is there anything short that we could pull out of the backlog, or?
All right, I got one for you.
Okay, you got it.
It was on the list for last time, but I'll just bring it up here real quick. Yeah.
Bum.
Yeah. Hey, have you listen, we're not spring chickens anymore, Paul.
Nope.
We're an old. Have you given any thought to what retirement's going to look like for you?
I'm pretty sure that my safest retirement plan is an untimely early death.
That's really, really dark.
Mm-hmm, yeah, we got dark there, real there. It's one of those things that you tuck money away, and that's coming at some point. But I honestly haven't given it a whole lot of thought outside of just saving money. What about you?
Forget about the here's how I'm going to survive portion of retirement.
Okay.
But when you decide to hang it up, right? Are you gonna like? Is there something that you would like want to do while you're retired? Like, do you see yourself taking like a part-time job? Is there a hobby you want to get back into, or?
I mean, I really can't think of anything. Like, a lot of, guys that I know or are friends with, they have some sort of atypical, I guess not atypical, typical masculine hobby like hunting or fishing or woodworking or working on their house or, home improvement or taking care of their lawn. And I don't give two craps about any of that stuff. I guess retirement would give me a lot more time to sit on the sofa and play video games.
Sooner or later, that like is going to run its course, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not. Yeah. I'm not that big on travel. I'm trying to go through all of the retirement cliches. I'm not big on travel. I'm not big on, carpentry or home improvement or outdoor stuff in general. I guess I'm pretty boring.
Yeah. I don't think you're boring.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boring.
I think I am. I think I just realized that I'm boring.
No, I don't think that's it at all.
No, what about you? What do you want to do when you retire?
For a long time I thought it was just kind of sit around and play video games, but like for me, like I think that I want to try to find something to do like in the community. Like and like it's
office.
hard. No, I don't know about that. But one thing I've considered is like, what if like I not volunteered, or like worked as like a dispatcher or something, right?
Oh, okay.
Like I want to do something. Like I don't think I could sit at home all day. Like I have hobbies. I think that I'd be better served like working like 15 to 20 hours a week, right? Just something super light where I can go, even if it was overnight, right? Like just go do something for a couple days a week and then spend the rest of the time at home with like a dog or my wife, or I don't know. Like I feel like there's got to be something like community based, or like volunteering at the library or something, or I don't know. Like, yeah. I know that I just don't want to sit around because much like you, like I'm not huge on traveling, and I've done some world traveling at this point. So like that isn't there, like that desire isn't there like it used to be because I've gone overseas a few times. I'll always like video games and messing around on computers, and maybe I would like to spend time learning something. But like, I almost feel like just getting out local and doing something would be probably what I would want to be doing. I can't say that I would want to like be on the computer all the time because I'm going to spend, I've spent the better part of 30 years and probably another 25 in front of a computer, God willing. But like, I don't know. Like, it's hard. I don't really know a good answer to that.
Yeah, see, I think I would be perfectly okay with just doing nothing. I think doing nothing is my natural state. Kind of, if I let everything go, I would just do nothing. And by nothing, I mean like, just sitting on the sofa and maybe listening to music or reading a book or watching a movie, just kind of just, vegging out. That's how I spend a good chunk of my weekends. That's how I kind of recharge, is just doing nothing. I really love nothing.
I'm in the same place. Like I think that I'm really in the same place because I also enjoy not doing a lot. So like my weekends, that's a big part of my weekend as well. So, but like, I don't know, sometimes I feel guilty about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you mean, because sometimes I feel like I should be doing more, or like instead of sitting here and, watching one more episode on Netflix, I should get up and learn something, or, I should, spend some time with my children, or, but like, I do it. I do some, like, I'm not the world's best dad, but I do spend time with my kids and try to do stuff. But I just like just not having any responsibilities and just chilling and, being a lump.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, like, as your kids get older and everything, I mean, do you think that'll change the equation, too? Like, if you thought about that, like, if your kids have kids and, like, one day you're a grandfather or something, like,
yeah.
Do you think that changes the equation a little bit, too?
I mean, probably. And it probably also really depends on, not scarring my children for life and them actually wanting to, spend time with me.
Oh,
and,
stop it.
Yeah, well, you never know.
No, I think I know.
Yeah. It's also that kind of depends on where they live, right? If they're close, then you can spend more time with them and see that kind of stuff and be that, be that by default free babysitter. But if they live far away, which is fine, they're going to be their own people and get their own jobs and, fall in love with somebody who drags them across the country. That's fine too. But I think the big thing for me now is just like my kids, my son's going to be in 8th grade next year, which means a year after that is high school, which means that I really have to like seriously start thinking about him like not living in the house anymore and driving. I mean, I got so many major milestones coming up. It's going to be a while before I start thinking about them, having a family. Well, I hope. But then again, it's also hard. Like, on the other side of that, like, I enjoy working. Like, obviously, I wouldn't do it for free. Like, I work because they pay me. But, I like that routine. I like that feeling of, doing something and, interacting with people. So, I mean, maybe sitting on the sofa for, 7 days a week would drive me insane just out of the sheer lack of social interaction.
Yeah, I was giving that some thought a couple weeks ago, and that's why I threw it in the document, because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I have fantasies about it. Like, I definitely don't want to, like, travel. I don't want to do the cliche stuff, like you said. Like, I don't want to travel too much, and I don't want to, like, I don't know. Like, it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard. I think retirement is going to be hard for someone like me.
I think it's hard for everybody in some way.
Oh, my parents love being retired.
Yeah, but I wonder how much of that is just you're supposed to enjoy being retired, right? Like,
that's true.
That's like the goal.
Yeah.
It's the American dream is to, have a good life, save enough money so you can live comfortably and do all the fun stuff that you want to do and not have to go to, and not, be free of that obligation of going to work.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably right. And I'm hoping that, I mean, and like, I feel like I'm setting myself up for a successful retirement. Like, I've been saving for a long time, and, I feel like I'm going to be in a good place when I eventually do retire. I don't know. Like, it worries me a little bit that I'll be bored, and I don't want that to be the case.
Yeah.
Because even when I take extended time off from work now, by like day 4, it's like I'm already thinking about going back to work.
I'm really bad at taking vacations, and after a week away from work, I just want to get back in that routine and just, get back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, food for thought. I'm sure that we'll have plenty of time to figure that out. Well, let's wrap this one up then. So where can people find us?
As always, we are on the internet at www.doingtheirbest.com. You can send us an email to contact@doingtheirbest.com. You can reach the show on Twitter at doingbestpod. And you can find me on Twitter at Paul Baylor. That's BAHLER. And where can we find you, Drew?
I'm on Twitter at PITTFURG, and I would love to hear from you. So send us emails, send us questions, send us advice. Tell us what we should do when we retire.
Yeah,
hopefully
exactly.
Hopefully still the podcast. That would be pretty impressive.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Until next time.
Yeah, toodles.